combat. Says, I don't need a pickaxe. I'll just take your wall anyway. Brilliantly done there, but now, can he win the 1v1 from the low ground? Player is one box directly above him. He hears it. You see the fake ramps out. He goes up, edit off the side, takes the high ground, drops out on top of 1, 2, 3. He gets it.
Literally waiting till the last second. The fake out on the ramp with just, I think he had one build left at the last second. So he was literally the almost the most efficient he could possibly be with all the materials that he had left. Opts to move up a different ramp, throws his opponent off, drop in from above. Excellent high ground take, excellent push with the combat shotgun, and the victory royale. You love to see it.
Well done there from Zadek now. You see Marcotte and Fool right on the edge of the zone. An intense little 1v1 right now. Trap does go down defensively. Fool saying, I'm having absolutely none of that. You can see he wants to try and get the materials that are there. Trap does get broken on the other side by Marcotte, and now you get a nice little box fight. So this is one of the things, if you want to learn how to get good at competitive Fortnite, learn to fight from a box. Blows the whistle, says it's time to go.
The whistle to signal the push. Honestly, oh, that's very funny. Push in there. Fool gets 2 taps there. The shotgun follows through a 92 crit. Gets him the elimination. Double back, pick up the rest of that wood, anything that he can top off with. Oh, shots coming in from the sides. Going to have to wall himself off, double air, and Ops, instead of popping the minis, to shadow bomb, just because I think the fear of positioning there and exposure, maybe adding a little too much attention. Did take one more tap on the move. Going to have a chance to heal up. Meanwhile, the top of this hill, thick with players, where they stacked up trying to make rotation here. 41. Waxy there from the stream. Trick Pog rotating forward.
Crew also in the match was second last time we saw him there. We got a number of duo qualifiers over on the side there. Players looking to get their solo spot. You see Kuma using the stink to try and force the player forward and then editing out. Boom, there goes the second one, knowing they can't stack in volume. And Quadra, that one smells. Go get yourself a gas mask. Try and queue back up.
Okay, when you're sitting on 3, Elam's now holding the edit. He's going to try and peek on through, deciding to apply a little more pressure. Oh my gosh, the back-to-back. The stink bombs, very lethal, especially at this point in the game. You have to realize these players understand if there's people that were caught rotating, got tagged up significantly, and didn't have the ability to heal, as will be the case quite often in games like this, where you have so many people in such a tight space. There's a good chance that people that are boxed up in front of you are potentially missing HP, maybe some fall damage, maybe they got hit by multiple people on rotation. They could have been, I mean, we even saw a Shadow Bomb player get shot just moments before that, and we're about 50 HP. That is a good opportunity to just chuck the stink in there, maybe do an HP check, see if they're low, and in this case, it pays off. 2 eliminations with basically no effort. And as you said before, we're looking to get the player count down to 30 before that Storm Surge goes away. We're sitting at 38 above for Dave, 32 players left, so 2 more need to go down.
Oop, boxes the baller in. The baller is going to just boost right on out, says I want nothing to do with that. Now you can see on the side, Dave getting another tag there. You see that threshold number also going up. Needs to be conscious. He left that edit open, but the player, because his back is to the storm, isn't going to have time to take shots towards him. So well played from Dave. Other player pushes it, and Tripper from Singularity kind of caught a little bit there. Seemed like he was going for an aggro play, but
I think potentially he expected Dave to not look back because, the catch. Good grab there. Tripern, I feel like was thinking, okay, Dave's not looking at me. I'm just going to step out. I have the angle. I'm going to take the shots from this side, and ended up kind of getting clapped very quickly. Dave's reaction of rotation down there. I'm not sure how to say that name. I'm just going to put that out. It looks like a sneeze. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm not even, I normally even try and attempt on that, but we're in the top 25. Let's pay attention to the rotations. As you see, a number of players playing billiards there on the low ground. Crew up on the high ground. You have WGS Jag, the player from South Korea, playing over in Europe right now. This is the most ballers I've seen in the lobby in forever.
The most ballers I've seen in the game easily this weekend.
I mean, I don't think we saw this many ballers in Europe when they were at 300 health. Europe has an affinity or like a particular hatred towards ballers rolling around.
We've made comments in the past about how they always seem to be fans of taking shots at players that are in ballers on the move when they have an opportunity to. Maybe a follow through here, the back-to-back, can't quite find it. But yeah, look at how many are left out on the field. This is a very rare sight for European qualifiers.
I mean, and it kind of compounds on top of itself because the more players who are in ballers, they aren't going to take shots at each other. And if you're not going to waste shots on baller players, you're not going to eliminate them. So, but once the explodes start coming out, that's when things get dicey because the RPGs can damage through the ballers, and with the 150 HP, one AR round into them, and then followed by an RPG can be a ton of damage. But now Pill is just going to go to work, ignore the ballers on the low ground, running around like they're a game of marbles, and he finds Trockley, and he finds Elocrats right after.
13 players left. Still in the rotation here, taking a chance to pop a mini. Does have the campfire, may or may not put it down. Not at this point. The storm's too close to his back. He's going to have to push forward. Like you said, multiple ballers are still in play, and with players not jumping out and not having pressure applied to them, you're looking at way less than 11 people. The player count remaining, that's not the number that are actually forced to engage each other right now. The people in ballers are almost being ignored. The heavy snipe from behind, and Mavjo picks up and Elim the push inside. He realizes, look at how many people are around in the same box.
And then said everybody goes up to the sky. No Elim coming out there. So all of a sudden, 3 up, 7 down. Talazeto on the ultimate high ground. Wesley Nutt and Blackso on the low ground. Jag ADX also on the mid tarp. Talazeto looking for shots. Has redeploy and the flint knock. Not going to find any. So ultimate high is going to be in his control. 10 players left, but he gets challenged.
One more all the way in the high ground. Just barely lost it. The flint knock flying up above. What a play. Takes the high ground back. Has ultimate high, looking down from above, only 29 builds. Has the redeploy to catch himself if he has to jump off, if he runs out of materials, but we'll see here in a second.
Somebody else just went up.
Yep, you heard it. There it is, the fish flying past. Felizito might take a shot. The flint knock kind of gets stuck in his own box for a second. This ADX dropping in Mexi from Loot Boy in the middle of your screen there. Tolzito still has the high ground, drops down to the next tarp. Mexi building out, trying to stay in the safe zone. This is the most players we've seen in a zone this tight in a long time. The Rift.
That's one. Is one player up in the rift. So you have one player up in the sky. Talazeto on ultimate high ground. Power, Psyches, and Blackso down the low. You have Talazeto in your top right. Power in your bottom right. Talazeto looking for it, and he finds Mexi out of the sky, and he gets the Cypher. Now he's dropping down with the redeploy, looking for Psychic on the campfire, and he finds it. Gets the Siphon, and it's enough to put him over the top for the victory royale. Talazito, you are mad indeed. The 2 Elims being the swing. 12 points there. Well done, sir.
The transition of the shot with the flint knock midair into an immediate descend, the redeploy to catch himself, and then the swap to the TAC AR and spray through the build while the player was sitting on top of both campfires. 200 IQ.
That was really well played from Talazeto. That's probably some of the best overall flint knock usage we've seen. We took high ground, I think, twice.
He did.
Going there, and then additionally picked up a sick Elim on the player out of the air with that heavy shot, and then dropped down. I mean, just well done.
Literally, you were saying he was unchallenged for high ground, immediately got challenged, and then used the flint knock on a single build out to take it back and force the player to drop. Well played. Well played indeed. What a loadout for the late game, too. Anyway, 43 players left. Next game, Europe.
42 players
42 players remaining. I just shouldn't say it sometimes. Looking for 41 players remaining here in a second. Someone trying to pick up another one. That was the first elimination for this player of this game. By the way, quick reminder, 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. If you would like to queue in, you're in the European region, now's the time to do it. Those last couple in. This is the last week for solos to qualify to punch that ticket to New York City. Don't forget it.
And after that, there's no more solo spots. 8 more players will be advancing from Europe. We'll have 6 from NA East, 2 from NA West, and 1 coming out of Brazil. And then the solos competition will be completely rounded out. These are the final moments. Again, don't forget, we will go a little bit longer than the queue times because the average game of full Fortnite is about 26 minutes long. So need to let everyone finish up, get all of those results tallied in, because every single time it's going to come down to the last match of the server, those top point lobbies. And right now, Motor is trying to make a case to get into one of those lobbies as he's sitting in this cone looking for a peek. 42 players remaining, so again, everyone playing absurdly safe. Nobody wants to put themselves at risk, and Motor recognized that, trying to pile in on that player as Paquito and Freck get taken down, and we have our top 40, Tohaj, being taken down as well, and we're still 14 players away from the first placement threshold.
Get into the first full move circle here in a second. Circle 6 to 7, transition to the northwest. It'll be an interesting one, too. A number of players up on top of a hill. You see in the minimap there, that left side based around the supply crate on the map. Holding the edit here. Motor trying to look out and see if there's anybody that might squeak out. He's looking back immediately behind him. I don't know if he realizes the player up above has an RPG. Oh, he does now. If he didn't before, surprise, there it is. A quick attempt. And the seal off, the close off of the edit there. Quick reset, well played from whoever that is inside.
Yeah, I just saw a nightmare situation where he had pushed out right after that for the shot and just accidentally stepped in front of the heavy sniper bullet. Now you can see that Storm Surge turning on right there. Motor more than fine, 502 above. Might regret popping that Shadow Zone since had a community launchpad placed right next to him, but he's...
Oh, I don't think he regrets it anymore. Honestly, Sundown, I think he's pretty happy about how that turned out. What a shot on rotation, a quick 180 in the combat to the dome, picks up an Elim. Sundown's mouth is literally sitting open. You can't believe what he saw. That was ridiculous.
But one thing that players might not be aware of, he bunny hopped right there to get maximum distance. So what that is spamming your jump button right as you hit the ground to get a little bit of extra horizontal distance, and it carried him past the player. So he 180 and one hit him with the combat. That's what I talk about when, like, sometimes I feel like these guys are playing a different game than I am.
Oh,
yes, I know for a fact I can do all of those things.
That's not Fortnite. I don't know what that is, but that's not Fortnite. That's some craziness.
It's nuts. These guys pushing the envelope, but Mongrel, speaking of pushing the envelope, not going to pull a Mitro on the dual partner there, opens the door, gets over onto the side, and is desperately looking for every point he can. Doesn't want any interaction if he can avoid it. Will he find it? 2 HP? And he does! Motor gets taken down. 26 players remaining. Mongrel, that could have been your moment in the box. 2 HP. Erosi gets Aki. That's 2 more points going over for him. That could be huge. That could be it. And now Mongrel on the side of the zone, back up to 75 HP. What can he do with it? Will the siphon in the mats be enough? 70 materials on the side of the zone, 24 players left, less than 5 minutes left in the queue times. If you want to go to New York City, you show up right now, and unfortunately, Mongrel is out. Let's see if he can get another queue as the rest of the match is now running. Provoked up on the high ground. You see Stompy, Martez also hanging out. Martez trying to take the high ground away, but SB Alman is up there as we hit the second placement threshold, top 15 now.
Stompy picking up another elimination in the feed. Provoked at 3 eliminations from Fnatic here. Stompy picking up actually another one. Stompy absolutely owning the feed. Provoked trying to box up, stay alive, very edge of the zone. Takes the chance, an opportunity to pop that slurp and get a little bit of a tick. Moves forward, trying to top off the HP. Players fighting underneath him, looking for a chance to establish a base of operations on the move here. And it's going to be difficult. Does get the mini off, though. Looking for players from behind. Very common tactic here. You get into a safe area where even if it might be 3-4 meters, catches someone in the face with that combat shotgun. You look for any chance for a quick whip back, anybody moving in from the outside of the storm, because they're the ones that they're forced to move in. You can't sit out there. And so even if you have 3, 4, 5 feet ahead of them, you can look back and get a shot off and pick up an elimination. 40 seconds left on that European queue. Get in those games if you're going to try and get the last ones in. Quick edit, a peek through. Cubex gets tapped one time, very low. Now you have to remember there's a 60-second window after that damage where if storm damage maybe claims that player gets an elimination, it's going to count for provoked. Dropping in here, 8 players left. Quick swap, shot, back to back, and MQ goes down. Looking for another, players underneath on rotation. Quick edit down, a push in, finds another on the outside. One more, looks for another, gets it. Stompy gets another. 3 eliminations, the triple in the feed, and there's 3 players left. Provoke on the ultimate low ground right now. 1 mini pop, moves all the way to the edge, pops.
First
campfire down.
He's getting pressure from both sides now, and this is the top 3.
Oh.
Can't find the shot. It's aim. Cubex who gets it. That's 52 points for Provoked. And again, each one of these elims, each one of them matters more when you're in these high points lobby. Martaz on the high ground, Cubex on the low ground, 39 to 49 points. Martaz wants to close this out. 27 builds to the 0 of Cubex, and that's going to be it. Martaz closes that one out. 43 points so far. Queue times are closed. The last matches will be coming in, but for now, we're going to throw it back on over to Courage, who's in the studio.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, that is it for the queues out in Europe. You see how dramatic it can be in these final moments. We still have more games to bring you. We want to make sure you get caught up to speed on those exact last matches, but I know, Zeke, we've had some things you were taking a look at that you want to show everyone at home.
Yeah, man, let's do this. We've got some cool clips as we make our way into the station. Just some really fun clips that I wanted to take a moment to talk about. Wolfsies, of course, just had a dope flick shot. Look at that, over on Violent, and just absolutely incredible. This is the level of skill. And I just want to highlight his rifling skills and just the way he approaches this fight. He knows the players down below, no builds, and you can just see he's using that brick floor, just ducking behind, making sure it's absorbing as much damage as possible. Airwalks. This is someone for me that I truly believe, and I want to see go to the World Cup Finals, especially with the last opportunity. Him and his duo partner Nikov have already qualified in duos, right? We even know his other teammates, Kinsar and Hunter, have also qualified. The difference is that Kinsar right now is the only member from Solary that is qualified for the solo format, and Airwalks is looking to do the same. We're going to watch this incredible spree. Just look at the way he's navigating all this density, right? His game sense and his awareness is on point. He's going to pick up 8 elimination total in this run. Now, unfortunately, he does not end up getting the Victory Royale, but just look at this. He's unbelievable. Once he gets going, it's very difficult for him, for anyone to stop him. Now, we're going to see his untimely demise here. He is going to go and try and challenge a player. He's going to pick them off, and he does get traded back out. Now, keep in mind, though, he did make top 5, so he still got the points from that. Now, Tolecito, we saw this incredible play. I thought this was incredible because he used the flintlock to shut down Mexi up on the high ground. And then just look at the HP from everyone else. He has HP advantage. He's so confident. He's just going to dive down and try and go for the challenge. Even if the player had traded out, he would have been in a pretty good state either way. So it was a pretty good game for these players. I mean, it's finals day. You know everyone's showing up big, making plays.
Insane right there. To have the confidence to drop on down, redeploy. But guys, I'm not going to hold this up. We've got our final games from the European region. Who will make it to the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's find out.
Thank you so much, Courage. Also, just want to give a shout out real quick to the guy running the AR wall. Whoever picked the screen that was right there, the way the 2 lines lined up with the black floor.
That was actually
it looked, I was sitting here and I'm like, all right, that's a cool shot. So, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. We give a bunch of love to the observers. Give him some love right there. Great screen. But now we're on board. Again, these are the absolute final matches. Queue times are done. We are in Europe. 8 spots up for grabs for the Fortnite World Cup final. This is your last opportunity. If you are one of the best, you need to prove it right now, or you will not be on that stage. You won't be playing with Tfue, with X2 Jordan, with Stompy, and 6J trying to make a case for being there as he picks up Zegrin and then gets on his rotation.
Absolutely ridiculous. Between games there, while everybody was watching the quick replay analysis, Sundown and I were talking about the different regions and just how certain aspects of each region stand out, and I think it's unanimous agreement that Europe has some of the best technical Fortnite and some of the most aggressive play that I think we've ever seen, and it is so much fun to talk about and so much fun to watch because these players are playing on a level that I don't think you have to imagine back in the day when Fortnite was, it was the battle royale portion was in its, early days. No one imagined the game would get to this. You can't possibly have said, oh yeah, one day we're gonna watch players, the technical skill and building and quickly editing and dropping in through floors and pushing walls and doing all these things, everything that they do. No one would have imagined it was going to come to this, the quick edits and push through Kais and picking up the first Elam. It's things like this. You could not have told me this is what Fortnite was going to evolve into. And you have to admit, whether you love or hate the game, no matter what you think about it, how things have changed and grown is fantastic to see. People are really pushing the technical skill that I think Fortnite has to offer in a way that no one could have predicted.
I mean, it's actually absurd to me, and like I said, I've been able to be a part of the process from playtesting through all of this.
You've been around since the beginning.
Yeah, I've never would have fathomed that players were doing this. I think one of the first things when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's good because you can be aggressive because you can like build at someone in your own cover. You don't just like hide behind a wall and stuff. And now it turns into, instead, these guys are building literal tunnels and mansions and skyscrapers in the span of 2 seconds. I think one of the plays we saw yesterday with the player, 1 by 1, threw a trap down, edited a ramp, and shot all in the span of 0.2 seconds. So I'm like, all right, you're playing a different game than me. Yeah, right there. Sky taking away Yarkos' ceiling with a single shot, double replaces it, double edits down, and then pushes in the space of nearly a half second. He gets it 50, or I was about to say 57, but 60 points now as the top 15 does
literally just
take over. The player gets taken down, and Skype is creeping up into that qualification range. Again, top 8 players will go, and this is the last shot. How they earn the points: top 25 is 3, top 15 is 5, top 5 is 7, the victory royale is 10. Each elim is 1, and Skype certainly knows that. He's been playing absurdly aggro. If he hits you, he wants to go.
You saw for just a second in there a quick attempt at maybe a heavy sniper shot, but he realized it wasn't loaded, opted back to try and push through the ramp instead. Very quick thinking on Skype's part. The swap out for the combat shotgun instead of the tac. Pretty common there. Player looting inside, but Skype more focused on rotation and position, as placement points will be everything for a player that is this close to making it to New York City.
That was so good by him to go around the back side of that building so he could extend the shadow bomb timer up to now get up to the mid tarp. You have Light up on the high ground, 13 up Nay, now just dropping down on the tarp below Skite. So Skite is on secondary high, but he's boxed up right now. Light's gonna begin to work top down, as we still have a number of ballers who are going to begin to get shot out as we head towards the second placement threshold. Kinzo gets taken down there, and Light continues to rain shots down onto these ballers, saying, hey, you gotta play Fortnite with the rest of us. Burn your mask, get out of there. Top 15 is on the board. John22 on Twitch picks up Calzo. Uno OG goes down, and Light continues to check his top, make sure he's safe, and then rain shots down. Dalo gets taken out as we get closer and closer to the top 10.
12 players remaining. Light still ultimate high ground. Skype right underneath, and I believe I saw for a moment Benji Fishy was in this game, but it looks like he's been eliminated at this point. Kaizen on the ultimate low ground, going to have to take an opportunity to heal up if possible. 9 players left, and Light is looking for a peak shot on a player in rotation, trying to challenge potentially the high ground. The pyramid of the play underneath kind of signals to me maybe not pushing up just yet, and I think Light realizes that, taking a chance to look down at maybe other players in the move, and yeah, he sees another one. There's a scent of potentially elimination. Light getting challenged for high ground now.
It's Rapti. Rapti's going for it and then drops back down, realizing he's not going to be able to take it. Pops the shadow form and goes all the way down to the far side. We're nearing the top 5. Now, one thing to keep an eye on, look at the points next to the names. 56 on Light, 64 on Skype. This is for a trip to New York City, as Light is able to pick up 59 there. They want everything they can. 6 Shades gets Rapti, but Skype trades it right back out and loops back into the zone. Skype on the edge of the mountain tries to find the jump pad, and he gets it going to the sky. Light trades out Miles on the top, so now 60 to 67 points, but Skype on 55 HP. Light pops the shadow bomb. What's he gonna do? Opts to drop down, so now Skype has to know he's down there. Skype has no mobility. Storm ticks it over. Light gets the elim credit as well, and that's gonna push him up to 64 as well, so evens it up. We're getting down to the final moment.
Depending on where this was in their games played, we're looking at 64 and 67 players for Light and Skype respectively. That potentially could have been a prevention for Skype to make it to New York City, or pushing Light all the way close enough to qualify if he has a game left. People have to realize these end games, when you see players at those point counts fighting it out for the victory royale, it can mean the difference. We saw it, I think, last week in NA East, a team just literally fighting the last second, the very last match, and the fact that one team took the win is what put them in the placement to make it to New York City.
It was week 6 duos, and it was RBK versus the Cooler Boys. The Cooler Boys ended up winning the 2v2 from the low ground, got the victory royale, and the 3-point difference from the victory royale, not even the elims, was enough to deny the RBK boys the spot. So when we talk about high impact eliminations, high impact engagements, and everyone mattering, when the queues are closed, these are the last matches on the server, so not exactly live, but about 5 to 10 minutes delayed, you are deciding your trips, you're deciding other people's fates, and these are the moments when you need to clutch up. We've talked about before, you don't have to be the best, but you need to be better than the person across from you. And when you're dealing with the best of the best in a trip to New York City, that's still got to be really good.
Yeah. And that's why I'm here behind the desk and not at the game.
I'm so glad these guys are so good. They make our job so incredibly easy.
And so much fun.
If the gameplay was really difficult, it'd be hard, but it's so hype. You guys are so good. Just shout out again one time, #Fortnite World Cup, to all of the players who have competed in the arena, in the tournaments, on Saturday, on Sunday. Thank you so much for doing this and making incredible plays and giving us this opportunity.
I do want to say too that one of the most common, I think, criticisms of competitive Fortnite is typically... the shots through. Kills only almost finding that Elim. Gets one big hit. Can't quite find the second. Exotics does pick that Elim up. I was going to say, one of the most common criticisms of competitive Fortnite is, everybody's sitting in 1x1s, not doing anything. You know, it's kind of slow play from time to time. I want them to pull this stream up and watch through these European games. Let us get to NA East and NA West and just how much pressure they apply at times. We literally just saw a player run out, push through a box with a heavy snipe and push inside and get an elimination, feeding into like window edits and shots through there with a combat shotgun. Competitive Fortnite, there's tension, there's action, there's pressure applied from every angle sometimes. You really have to dig in and watch long durations of this to see all the craziness that happens, because people are elevating the gameplay every time we watch it.
There's so many nuances, and I think the best part for me is every single day there's something new somebody is doing to push the envelope.
Yep.
There's always something somebody finds that is able to do. In every patch that comes out, somebody finds a new combination, or there's something that's slightly better. As Excite has now picked up 6 Elims in this match. We've seen 3 of them.
Woo!
We've now seen 4 of them going to work with the legendary AR and the Shadow Bombs on the rotation, getting himself over to the sides of zones and then posting up and taking shots. You can notice, again, one thing, when you box up on an opponent's material, go over and up a grid space. You never want to be on the same level or one wall away from somebody else. Make them break 2 walls every single time, always.
You're asking to get pushed quickly if you land side by side, especially if you're about to force a fight for a wall. Sight looking for shots here on players in the rotation. A little bit ahead inside the circle. A rocket coming in a quick close. The close off the edit. Good reset there. He's going to catch it before it blows him up. Looking back behind. Player rotating the outside. He sees the silhouette. Watching for the shot. Takes it. Gets it. Voxy goes down up to 198 total HP and 8 eliminations. We'll get a top 15 here in one more player needs to go down. Sight the forefront of the storm now. Waiting his time. Trying to wait for that Shadow Bomb to tick out so we can box up.
This is an incredible game so far from Excite. With that pushing over, he's on a 13-point match right now. Let's look at the rest of the lobby. Artur up on the high ground. You have Miko, Lars, Wallboom, Motor, and Zyflare all on the mid-tarp. Rest of the players on the low ground. You see Noodle Kongan just get ticked over from the storm there. Motor going to begin to work top down, sitting on 41 points. Gets the headshot, knows there's white damage there. Player in the box, sees him get eliminated, but he wants to continue moving forward. That was Maxa and Excite, who both just got picked up, and Motor is completely out of builds with no elims. He has to find something or has to find a way to drop down. Luckily, a player building on the tarp beneath sees the Shadow Bomb drop, and he's going to use the Pine Tree to not take fall damage. Find Go-Go's on the side, and also gets all of his mats and a med kit on 80 HP. That could be huge. You have the ability with the campfire, but he's dealing with such limited ammunition in terms of the small rounds. Wallboom goes down to Artur, and we get closer and closer to the final placement threshold before the victory royale. Motor opts to pop the campfire early. If he goes to full 100, this could end up being detrimental to him trying to medkit if we go to full heal. However, don't think that's going to happen with 90 seconds left. Antaret gets Miko, and we're into the top 5.
44 points right now for Motor. Pressure from above. Gonna have to box up and wait. See if anybody can make the move. Like you said, a big material pickup just moments ago for Motor, but not enough ammunition to make a difference. Artur on the ultimate high drops down and reconnects quickly. Very important move there. You see he places a couple services and builds his way back up. Quick shotty shot. Anthrax trying to apply pressure. Player drops in, shots on the outside, gets Lars. Gonna have to rotate into the zone quickly as that storm is ticking for 10. 3 players left and pressure from underneath. Anthrax sitting on 2 builds, 15 bandages, but it's not gonna be enough to keep himself safe unless he picks up this Elim, maybe some materials. 2 big hits, can't quite find the elimination. Gonna try and get ahead of the build. Shot from above. Pressure from the third party, and Motor picks up that elimination. A 1v1 heads up situation. Motor at a huge disadvantage in the storm, ticking slowly, and Artur sitting on enough builds maybe to apply pressure. Down to 10 now, the drop in, and finds the elimination. Only 2, but it still gets the job done. A 12-point victory royale pushes Artur to 42 points thus far.
And again, don't forget, with the prize pool being doubled this week, even if you don't get one of those qualification spots there, the money is doubled in every single one of the placements. So each one of those interactions could be the difference in a little bit of a bigger paycheck. But now we're swinging right on board over towards one of the snowy biome areas in Happy Hamlet. 38 players in this match.
I think Happy Hamlet's worthless.
In what's it like? As in you don't like the drop spot,
it's
or
terrible.
as in like the town like shouldn't have ever been developed?
I think that they have outdated laws about leashing your dogs, and I also think that the loot positioning is poor. I do not like Happy Hamlet. If you agree with me, hashtag Fortnite World Cup.
All right, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What is your favorite solo drop spot? I know Lupo's is a not Happy Hamlet, so what's your favorite solo spot? What's your current solo drop spot?
My go-to typically is going to be, okay, so there's a little pirate camp in the southwest of Pressure Plant that before the volcano went off, that's where I was consistently dropping. Recently, though, because of the changes, I really like Valhalla. I like the dance club. If I'm dropping solos and I'm not going for, like, because there's a different play style.
Competitive, super serious, ultra World Cup qualifier, where are you dropping solos?
I'll go Valhalla, and if that's contested, I'll fly past the Snobby.
Okay, cool.
I like that west side of the map, typically because it is not often challenged, and you have so many opportunities for rotation. The only problem is, like, you have the rocket base that now is kind of decayed a little bit to the northeast of Snobby. You have Valhalla that's up there. That you have a lot of places where there's going to be people that can see down from above. But I mean, you also have a quad in there. You can quad fly your way back over the Neo Tilted. What a back-to-back! That was 2 shots sequentially.
62 on the first guy for the body shot, finds the second player rotating and hits him with the headshot. We talk about the flintlock efficiency in the right hand. Scoggin, the right hand's there, just wow, you talk about the pirate camp right there, going to work with the flintlock. I'm a big fan of that west side of the map too. I know the little kind of broken house between Viking Village and where Polar was, that's down there, has 3 chest spawns and you can rotate away. There's mushrooms there. That's one of my drop spots.
The ice too, you can feed into Greasy if you want to. There's a lot of chances to move over there. I think the west side of the map right now is one of the best for solos.
I'm just upset. I lost the covered bridge down south in between Lucky down there. Has 2 spawns on itself, and then the pirate cannon that used to be there had 2 spawns, and then the house had a spawn. So there's 5 spawns that were all in that one spot, and then you move right into old factories. It was really good, but lost that one unfortunately. Now on board here with Styler, CSC sitting on 42 points. You can see him trying to edit down the rest of the lobby.
Not sure about that shadow bomb.
He popped the shadow bomb like he was gonna rotate. He saw the supply crate and then like.
I think he thought about it for a second and said, you know what, I already used the shadow bomb. I don't want to make this, I don't want to feel like this goes to waste, so I'm just going to, instead, I'm going to push for rotation.
But you can see in the bottom right-hand corner there, that supply drop just goes completely to waste. There was no one there. Let's look at the rest of the lobby. Martaz, Crippa, Waldo, Kisanth, Orc H, Fool, Bayonne, Mods, Blazin, so many players. Mexi over there in a baller rolling around. Talazito in there and still above storm damage. So if you are rolling around in the ball, you will be getting the ticks going there. Have to play aggression, have to play aggressive going through to turn that off or just tag somebody.
Knox in the feed a second ago, I believe, being eliminated by the storm. Looks like that threshold did get to him, down to 31 players. Need 1 more to go down before Storm Surge is no longer a factor. 94 above right now for Styler, taking quick peeks, maybe thinking I need to get a hit on somebody before it's too late. I'd say back-to-back hits is pretty good there. Pick it up an Elam, pushing it to 30 remaining. 1 through the wall to the right. Quick shot, misses twice, but finds a third. Tart goes down, picking up the second Elam so far for Styler, sorry. 29 players left. We're 4 away from placement points. And this is so many people trying to rotate simultaneously through not even the ultimate low ground, but just kind of the mid is just full of people. Every single layer is a fresh tarp, and you have tons of new builds and a lot of metal coming up.
A lot of metal going through it, and you got to work through the old builds as Brism gets taken down and misses out on the placement point. So now on board here with Haibuzin as he makes his rotation. Mexi out of the ball, it picks up Savid. Ghosty gets taken down as well as Haibuzin as he edits down, gets the shot, and then the tick over from the fall damage, I think.
No,
that player might have gone through.
I think that player that he shot actually survived. There was a storm.
Oh, it was the other player who went through. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, understood.
Fool picking up an elimination with fall damage in your feet in the top. 4 elims right now. Haibuzin trying to push up through. Like I was saying, the player builds that are out there right now, so difficult to push through if they're metal. It requires so many more melee hits from your pickaxe to try and break. It's going to slow you down. You're going to take storm damage from it. It's going to put you in a worse position. You won't be able to get to the forefront of the storm while other players are trying to rotate. Next from Loot Boy, looking for a peek shot there. Going to drop out of the box. Looks like a little bit of a delay there.
Just madness on that low ground. Everyone is down there as we're getting closer. Boom, there it is. Top 15 Styler does get taken down on that mid-tarp by Mods. Harvey gets Mexi gets taken down by Zealous. Bay on there. brilliantly done. Topped out on the light ammo. Kripa gets Fool as Mods gets blazing, and we're into the top 10. Top 5 being left.
Drops Martaz in with the edit. Catches him on the move with the corner edit and a quick swap. Oh, man. Sorry. That was insanity. What a quick reaction there, man. Now at 2 eliminations. Only 24 builds, but G just picked up all that brick a second ago. He's digging through any materials he has left. Bodobon all the way in the high ground right now. A single layer across, but it doesn't really matter. No one's looking up, and he's got RPGs for days. Looks like he's going to look down from above and try and take shots.
Good pick up some Kripa on this mid-tarp right now as Botaban is going to work down. Bayonne on the mid-tarp. Top 5 just happened as Haibuzin gets ticked over. Shadow, will he be able to pick it up? Bayonne gets Shadow, though, on the turn. Can Bayonne catch back up to the zone? And
ramp.
Kripa gets caught by Botaban on the high ground. The single tarp strategy on the high ground. The one rocket he fires down for an Elim and the victory out. He says he can take that out. 11 points coming out from Botaban.
Well played there. Even just the single layer of brick, because there were so many layers of material below, that's actually really, really good thinking on his part as he's moving forward. He looks down and says, no one's going to challenge me. There's so much mass in the way that no one's looking up. I just need to keep this, I got to find a spot to connect it. And he dropped down and did that, that's a super common strategy, especially in duos. Typically you have players that are one's applying pressure, taking shots at people, while the other drops down and reconnects the builds, and they swap roles back and forth. I think we see Tfue and Cloaksy do that all the time. If you watch the stream, it's super, super common.
Zay and Saf, another duo
100%.
that kind of I don't want to say like made that more prolific, but like watching their VODs and
so
watching
smart.
them do it is kind of like, oh, here's the blueprint for how you go about doing this
Exactly.
correctly.
You're connecting the canopy of your build to structure that's already established underneath, because then if somebody shoots out what's way back in the storm, you're not going to run back and replace it. But now it doesn't matter because you have another branch connecting underneath.
Yeah, and then you're
Very,
all
very important.
good. Well done from them there. As we're on board here with Solari Airwalks, 49 players left, so just a tick under half of the lobby. Storm Circle 5 is closing, and we're also going to be rotating through pressure plant, so lots of geysers, lots of innate natural mobility, and a decent amount of mats and metal that can be reused, so it should be interesting to see what ends up happening here as we hop on board here with Train H's Alpha. Train H being the team Train Hard, hits the geyser and says, I'm going to zone.
There's players all the way up on the drone in the sky above. You see him Alpha on rotation, checking up above quickly. Going to layer up twice to stay away from the player underneath. You don't want to get dropped in on somebody else's structure. Replacing the ramp with a cone so you can get quick edits in whatever direction you need. I do want to make a quick statement. You see these kind of edits, he's looking for shots now, and then he'll quickly do a reset after he feels like he's shot for long enough. You don't want to get caught gargoyling, tunnel visioning on somebody, or you're exposed and someone might take a shot. And there's a lot of players in front of him. He might not see them, but they're there. But what I was going to say is oftentimes we see players do like the window edit and then instantly reset so that they can get transparency through the metal or the brick. More often now I've been seeing players do a door instead of a window, because at this level, even that imagine you have 3, 4, 5 frames where there's a window open, someone might sneak a snipe shot or rocket something in through the window and you're gonna get punished. Door doesn't do that.
So close the door.
Well, yeah, you put the door in and it's still just a solid surface. So you prevent any opportunity for somebody to sneak a shot in. Yampi there, I was going to say, you might want to reset that window, speaking of.
Mongrel in the lobby, Crew in the lobby as well. You can see Mongrel currently sitting on 55 points. Last time we saw him, he was at that 50 mark, so down to it. You can also see Storm Surge. He's 98 damage above it. Again, that will get turned off at 30 players, so expect aggression to come out. Second Shadow Bomb being popped and just trying to get to the far side of the zone, get away from people, box up and be safe. Mongrel wants to play patiently, wants to not be eliminated early. Generally, you're used to seeing him play much more aggressive, but with everything on the line, with the queues being closed, with the last opportunity to book a seat in New York City, he knows he can't mess up. He has to get points here if he wants to be going.
You got to be thinking these players too when they're back.
Airwalks and Alpha Amons are both in the lobby. I apologize, but this place is stacked.
No, it's insane. You're right. I was going to say, players typically too at this level that are watching the queue and watching the leaderboard, they're going to ready up and then they're going to immediately go look to see where they are on the board as they go into the next game. Even sometimes they have a chance during their, like when they're boxed up in here, they'll pull up the leaderboard if they can on the website, something like that, and see if they can find out just how many points they need to make in order to place Does not surprise me that Mongrel's trying to play a little safer. Pushing over the top of this campfire player underneath. Another one boxing up inside metal. A lot of layers here. An attempt to maybe get a little bit of an advantage here in terms of elevation. Pushing forward, branching into the next circle.
Oh, Baller almost took out his build there, which could have been absolutely devastating. Would have dropped him down. No tarp beneath. 28 players remaining. Look for shots. He finds it.
There we go.
There you go. Leon Flares goes down. 26 players remaining. Wolfies gets picked up by Krith. Mongrel up to 56 points. Looking for it, and that's 59 now as he hits the top 25. Player directly next to him on the box, but trying to pop that, and Crew goes down as well. Was in the top 25, but that was the player who was in the second place last time we saw. You have Windstrike Mayhem, who was within distance. Now you have Airwalks, the Solari player, at 53 points, trying to drop him down. RPG up on the high ground. He follows it right away. Suat gets swatted out of the sky, but Astro SMZ is also making his push for the top as he's picked up his third Elam since we've been watching. Mongrel gets another one, picking up Romo as we get closer to the top 15. Airwalks getting some reloads into that combat shotgun, wants to make sure he has every tool available as we push down to the final fight. Airwalks up on the ultimate high ground. ETQ rounding around the storm. Mongrel going to challenge on the mid-tarp, and he gets Carrera, and he also gets into the top 15 as we slide on board with Train H's Alpha, puts the trap down, and he gets Astro. Astro knocked out. Could be his World Cup run over there.
26 points thus far for Alpha, but not a big deal. He's still putting on a good show. Shots back behind, finds another player. Cell caught in a box just outside. Rotating forward, 9 players remaining. Scalamo goes down to fall damage to the feed. ETQ eliminated by that combat shotgun, so powerful in these close range fights. Alpha, 6 eliminations, looking for the 7th, pushing through, applying pressure through the wall, does not want the player inside to take the chance to get anything. Mongrel picks up another elimination, then immediately gets eliminated, goes out in 7th place, almost the top 5 for those points, only going to get 5 placement. Could still be big enough to make his way to New York City. We will have to see before too long. Top 5 now. Alpha, 30 builds, a mini opportunity. Anything to heal right now is going to be big. You don't want to be caught by players that may have positioning, and Oldies does in fact have that positioning. A 1v1. Players are basically 1-2 boxes away from each other, and Oldies may take the chance to rotate up out of the storm. We'll see here, stuck against the edge. Airwalks, the ultimate high ground, just waiting. 97 builds for Oldies, but only 1 for Airwalks.
52 to 58 in points. This could end up being the difference. Oldies looks to go for it, and he gets the zone back from Airwalks. He takes away the zone, but Airwalks knocks him down. No fall damage coming through. Can Airwalks find the shot?
No build.
Oldies just keeping the zone in the area, and Oldies gets the victory royale, pushes him up to 55. Airwalks falls at 58 with no builds.
Imagine being Oldies knowing you just eliminated Airwalks from Solary, Mongrel from Secret. You've got to be feeling really good about that game. A big push for points, too. That was, like you said in the middle of it, a very, very stacked lobby. A lot of pressure, too, because you have so many players now in these games that we're showing you. You have to remember at home, the ones that we're trying to pick the ones that are best for affecting the leaderboard, because these are the plays that you need to see. This is Europe, by the way, if you're just tuning in. If you've popped in a little late, we're trying to push our way through these games because there's so many things happening, but all these lobbies are going to be so intense because everyone is vying for those top 8 positions to qualify to go to New York City.
And that's what it's all about, getting a spot in the Fortnite World Cup final. This is week 9 of the online open qualifiers, the last chance in the solos competition. And if you want to sit on that stage, if you want to be playing with the best of the best, the Bizzles, the Vivids, the T-Fuse, the Dementos, all of those top players on the stage with FaxFox and Vanny, you have to clutch up right now in these final moments and against the best players, because if you're unfamiliar with how the tournament matchmaking works, it's 3 hours, 10 matches, and as you climb in points, you're matched with players close to you in that point range. So the matches only get more difficult, the players only get better, and these are the times, these are the fights you have to win if you want to be playing for your shot at the $30 million.
A quick note, too, if you're watching, this is the final game for Europe. Everything for these players to qualify for solos for New York City, to play for $30 million on a stage bigger than any stage Fortnite has ever seen. This is the last chance for Europe. There are a lot of fans out there of a lot of these players. Do me a favor. Go on Twitter. Tag your favorite players and show them some love. Keep the negativity out of this. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup, because Fortnite has done something that not many people ever thought would happen. They've put a focus on every player that has played out of their minds. And I want to be sure that all these people that have played, have qualified, have tried their heart out, they need to know that you're supporting the heck out of them. So again, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Please let your favorite players know that they've done an excellent job. Win or lose, doesn't matter how many eliminations. All these people have a lot of heart. It's important that they know that.
Indeed, a lot of heart coming out from all of these players. It's so incredibly hard to get.
I laugh as you say, but honestly, what a perfect name to see pop up. All that being said, no mercy this week.
Weigh-in picks up it. He says no mercy this week. Indeed, it's all about those last spots, trying to find the Shadow Bomb player as he rotates through, getting the shots going off here. And this is what it's all about. Storm Surge is on for 3 more players. Weigh-in pushing forward. Lacey Sher gets Bass and then gets traded out by Rasmussen. We have our top 30. So Storm Surge is off. First placement threshold in 5 more players. Black Sue over there in the mid-tarp, gonna hop on board with him, sitting on 46 points right now. Going to need a monstrous performance if he wants to top off. We've seen a number of players pushing up towards that 60 range. Don't forget, 8 spots coming out of Europe. Top 25, the first placement threshold, and Blacks is in a good spot to hit it with the 4 Shadow Bombs, using the first one now.
The stream's got to be feeling good about how their players playing thus far. Black Sue and Skype both excellent thus far. Potentially see Vato at some point. We'll have to find out. 28 players, 26, 25. What a quick shift in player count. Points going out. 3 for everybody left on the board, down to 22 already. This rotation has been lethal for so many. Such a big shift, down to 21 now. Chip goes down, 20. Every time I feel like I say it, we're about to see 19. There's another elimination. The Toxic Donut removed from the game. Black Sue pushing forward here, 2 eliminations. Don't want to get caught by someone boxing up, as we've seen so many times in the past. Trying to maybe land somewhere inside a box with a launch pad. Going to move forward with the Storm. Excellent position now. Has a chance to kind of wait and peek back behind. Someone is up above. He's got to be careful there. That edit going to jump up and move on through to the next section of this circle. Still not stopped. We're very close. You look at the mini-map, the blue and white cross over the circles. Once that happens, you know players are going to start boxing up and peeking back for sure. Back-to-back shots, back-to-back eliminations.
No, he only got one of them. Daryl got the other one. That could end up
apologies.
being huge. Like we said, every single one of these interactions mattering, but Blackso trying to push the envelope and get every elim anyway. Will he be able to find it? He hits the shot, gets the siphon onto Purge. All of a sudden, Blackso has single-handedly fragged his way into the top 5. 57 points, but we've seen more. He needs to keep pushing. This is the last match on the server. This is the top 5. Frenzy, Nate, Screaky, Masato, and Blackso will be closing out the European region. Blackso right now extending the timeout on the Shadow Bomb. He's in your bottom right. He drops down. Nate gets taken out by Masato. Frenzy begins to work. Top down. Takes 55 fall damage. Blackso pushes in. Hitting Masato in the same box. Masato disengages around the side. Blackso desperately trying to find the shot. Needs everything he can. Top 4. Screaky goes down as Masato finds it. Frenzy continues working from the top down, but Blackso needs the space. No builds left on Frenzy. 47 points for him, 57 for Blackso. This is his chance. Can he get Lestream to the World Cup final? He's looking for it. He finds the first shot. 88. Can he convert? No. Frenzy picks up the elim, but he finds the 30 right after. Needs the elim and the victory royale. 461. But can it be enough? And can he close it out? He's looking for the shots. 49 shield, 85 health, no builds from the low ground player. Frenzy gets cleaned up. 61 for Lestream's Blackso. But will it be enough? Courage, will it be enough?
We will find out, folks. 5 weeks of solo competition have led to this moment in Europe. The queues are done, and now it is time to find out who exactly has made it on through to the Fortnite World Cup finals. Who will take up those final spots from the European region?
I think it's time to take a look.
Here
we
go. Ladies and gentlemen,
wow.
First off, congratulations to Andretta, who throughout the entire day was in that top spot. Crew, Skite, Light, Mongrel has made it on in. Was what everyone was wondering if he was going to do it.
Yep.
People had high expectations. He clutches in the end. Emku, Teak, and who did we just see in that last game?
There you go, man. Black Sue, he makes it in for Lestream. That's huge for the French-speaking community because we saw Solary already go through, and Lestream kept getting edged out every week, but now it's Black Sue's time to shine. Really quick, though, Andretta. So you talked about this guy's been on fire all day long.
Yeah.
We actually kind of pulled stats on his previous week qualifiers. For the previous solo weeks, 291th place, 127, 218, 610, and now first. All day long. Went from like 50 viewers on Twitch to like 20,000. Send Andretta some love. All his hard work has truly paid off. These are the 8 that are coming through, Courage.
Congratulations to them. I think there's one more thing we can do. It's time to punch their ticket. Zeke.
I'll start over here.
Start over there.
Boop. There you go.
Andretta made it. Crew made it. Let's hit the middle one. Skite made it.
There you go.
Light. Mongrel, congratulations again, brother. In the middle, Emku, and finally, Teak, and wait.
There you go.
Laksu as well.
There you
the
go.
8 players from Europe who will join Muffin and Rona season, as we saw earlier, making it on in. Incredible stuff. Europe was an insane day today, just as we expected. High-level lobbies, tons of people left all the way to that 5th zone. But here's the beauty of it, folks. We've got more action to bring you. We're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll catch you up to speed on some of the other regions before we kick off the NA East action.
Zeke, this is it. This is the last chance, all right? People need to know about this block party, all right? This is your last opportunity to get them involved, to get them hyped. Zeke, everyone's going to be there, all right? DJ Zeke's going to be there. DJ Sundown's going to be there. Everyone's going to be there, all right? The people are waiting. All right. You know what, man? I'm DJ Zeke. I don't need no card. But what you need to do is buy your tickets to the block party. Tickets are only $35, Fortnite fam. Listen, all right, June 15th, 16th at the LA Forum. Day 1, Creative Showdown. Listen, all right, Team Evolve built an incredible map. Spoiler alert, it's dope. Day 2, Celebrity Pro-Am. 50 pro gamers, 50 celebrities, all battling out for a $3 million charity prize pool. What more do you want? What more do you need? Fortnite fam, you need to be there because we are ready to party with you. Bam!
Heyo Fortnite fam, Sundown here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the Flintlock pistol and its impact on competitive play.
The Flintlock pistol is a great addition. Sometimes it'll just change the course of a fight.
The things you can do is insane. You can get height with it. It shoots pretty far. You can almost use it as an AR at the beginning game just to get one shot. It'll hit for like 80, 90 in the body.
And this is looking really good for Horrify, but the Flintlock is going to get the high ground. Nikiva, such a smart player.
The Flintlock is a common and uncommon weapon that uses heavy ammunition. It does 86 or 90 damage depending on rarity, and it has a 2 times headshot multiplier. This means that outside of a sniper rifle, it has the highest single shot damage potential in the game. However, the Flintlock only allows for 1 shot at a time, has pretty decent damage fall off, and also takes 3 seconds to reload. In addition to all of this, the Flintlock also has a mobility component to it. When fired, it will impulse the shooter backwards, and if the bullet strikes a target, it will impulse the target away from the shooter. This can allow for some tricky plays to be made.
Player there, runs out into the storm, jump, turn, finds him, yeah!
We've seen a decent amount of use out of the Flintlock during the Fortnite World Cup online open qualifiers. So let's hear from some of the qualified players to get their opinion on its addition to the game.
If I'm low on HP and I have to choose one weapon, it will be this one. You can actually like kill someone from 200 HP to 0 without taking any shots.
And it's also really good for competitive play because if you're high ground or if you want to get away from a situation, the Flintlock when you use it, it knocks you some distance, so you can get away or you can get high ground over someone. I think it just adds a lot of like different plays you can make with it. I think it's good.
I personally really like the flintlock. I think it's a really good weapon. I think it's a really strong weapon in the right hands. You need to know how to use it, and you need to base your whole game around it if you want to use it right.
It's just the kind of weapon we need more.
I definitely think it's one of the better things that have been added skill-wise. I like that it's so versatile. I really like it competitive. Definitely deserves a spot in here.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully you saw how the Flintlock can be utilized in the right hands. What is the best Flintlock play you've done or seen? Share it with us using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, and we'll be seeing you guys on the battle bus, or maybe Flintlocking through the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fortnite World Cup. This is the final week for solo qualifiers, so if you're trying to make your way to New York City to punch that ticket, now's the time to do it. If you miss out, that'll be that. Coming up next, we have Asia and Oceania replays. Those regions have already played out, but before we get to that, I asked a question when I was with Sundown casting the end of Europe, and that was where your favorite drop spot was. And we are lucky enough, because of the magic of Twitter and the production team who is always top-notch, a little social. I want to see what everybody said about everything. I just want to put this out there immediately. My boy Till Truth agreeing that Viking Village up top, one of the best in the game. Disco, Frosty Dusty, Jung Junction when running solos. Unless it's a hotspot, dropping factories by Flush. Racetrack, Lazy Lagoon or the Block. The Block, honestly, we're seeing that more and more. A lot of players are picking that up. Mega Mall. Surprising to me, one of the biggest landing zones on the map right now. We've seen it time and time again being constantly swamped with players. Paradise Palms, Salty Springs again, Pressure Plant, and I believe that is the very southeast corner of the map. Some players call it Westworld. There's all sorts of names for these locations where if they don't have a POI name on them. It's kind of interesting to see how creative people can get. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm always curious where people are dropping. As hard as I can to avoid any of those spots. Thanks for telling me where to not go. But I do want to see where Asia and Oceania go. And in order to do that, in order to look at those replays and get a play-by-play of everything happening, I need some players to give me some insight. And those players, in this case, would be Monster D-Face and Zeke.
Thank you, Dr. Lupo. Back
Monster.
at it again, Zeke.
Are you ready?
Ready to rock it.
I believe you are ready. That's why you gave me the fist bump and not Courage JD. Fortnite fam, we hope you guys are ready because it is finals day. We're hopping into some replays from Oceania that happened this morning. We want to get these guys up to speed, have them, share their moment because them qualifying was a big deal. Yeah, absolutely. So let's get ready to hop into these games together. Is there anything you're excited about? You looking forward to, Monster?
I mean, I'm looking forward to just watching all these games unfold. I follow like every competitive player on social media, so to wake up to my peers, kind of happy that they pushed through, or unfortunately, sometimes, you get the other tail end of that, see their errors where things kind of didn't fall in line for them. Because at the end of the day, no performance is perfect. And when you kind of go back and really look at it, a lot of times you spot your own errors. So it's kind of crazy how much Fortnite has developed and evolved and how much more room for perfection there is in this game.
For sure, man. I mean, we can always be getting better, not only in Fortnite, but as humans. And of course, at our ability to eat chicken parmesan, because I will never be able to eat it as incredibly as Courage JD can. 44 players currently.
Graciously.
Yeah, He's voracious with the food. 44 players here in Storm Circle 5. We see this all the time, right, Monster? You know, that was a great pickup of Magsy there in midair. But we see this all the time. Finals day is very different than Saturday's qualification rounds, right? Saturday's semifinals are typically very elimination heavy. Finals, they know what's at stake. They know they have to play conservative, play for points, play for placements, and that's what we're seeing now.
Yeah, it definitely goes without saying that these last days when, you know, everything's on the line, there's just so much more pressure on you to perform that you are going to be more hesitant. But not only that, you have to respect people that are able to make it through the top 0.01% Sunday for qualification, because at the end of the day, look at how many players don't make it to Sunday. Like, literally, it's not easy to crack out 30, 50 points, 60 points if you're on EU.
That is copyrighted.
Just to make it through. Like, the competition is that stiff. So there's a lot right down the line. If you make it through to Sunday, you got to give yourself a pat in the back, regardless of how you do it, because it's no easy feat. And if someone makes it look easy, just understand that guy is miles ahead of the competition.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even if you don't qualify, right, there's always going to be events going forward in the future. There's always another opportunity. Just because you didn't make it, it does not mean that it's the end of your Fortnite journey or your Fortnite career, right?
I mean, just like everything in life, it takes a lot of preparation, consistency, but more importantly, one of the factors people don't take for granted is it's the luck factor. You also still need things to click, even in life, and things are clicking right here. Scopes Rebel goes down, nice little shot from Rona Season, what we saw did pull through.
Yeah, that's right. Rona, aka Sazman, taking that #1 spot over in OCE. He's already on 4 eliminations, so this is probably his maybe second game, right? Because he has 10 points here, and we're not even top 5, has the 4 eliminations, and he's hard. So his game before must have just been his initial game for 6 points total. And now we're hopping in. How are things going to unfold for him? He just hit top 25, so first round of placement points coming out. Don't forget, guys, 15-5 victory royale. Those are every single threshold, and every elim is a point. So already at 7, I don't know how to do math, just from elims and placement.
Yeah, and if you're new to competitive Fortnite, this is what it looks like at the highest levels of competition when there is money and prize on the line. Not only that, the respect of your peers. People are insane at this game. You might not see Glider redeploy every day in your day-to-day games, but here in the upper levels of competition, they use these kind of items to maximum efficiency, to save materials. So top-tier competitive Fortnite is a very interesting thing to watch and kind of digest. And just kind of from sticking around and studying these guys' play, you can level up your own game.
Especially like the minor differences between different people's play, right? Like, you as a player, you might say, I love Glider redeploy, and that is my go-to item. For me, I might say, look, I value the Shadow Bombs more because it just lends itself to my playstyle and the things I'm looking to do. You know, and especially as Fortnite continues to evolve, new patches come out, new weapons, items, utility, all that. Like, it's just an ever-changing game. To see these guys adapt and just everything in their hands is lethal. It's like, gray AR, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to find 10 elims. Gray tech, doesn't matter, 10 elims. Right. Yeah, exactly.
They make it look so good. Now take a look at Rona, who somehow manages to find some high ground off that Shadow Bomb, doing a really good job at climbing up here. Makes the edit one step ahead of Unknown. Space there, kind of steps out before his counterplay can even happen. Now he is set up. He has a setup shop right here. Who's at the ultimate top? It's Alfie. Alfie firing down, and someone else is just above him. You can see there, it's Brave. I will not lose. He's got the ultimate high here. Alfie says, you know what? I want no part of that. He is coming down into Rona. Let's see what Rona's going to do with these final moments here. He steps into another player's box. 120. Such a tight crosshair to hit these shots. You got to respect the aim here and the consistency, Zeke.
This is, I mean, this is what separates Sazman from the rest, right? There's so much confidence behind his play, and this is what I love talking about, because that's what resonates with me, is how confident you are in the moment of things happening, right? Just look at this, not building. He has 13 builds, so it's not much, but he doesn't need to build. He knows what's going on. He's dictating the tempo of this game, right? Right now, Sazman is on that lowest level. Bray is up above. And now, I mean, Sazman's got 10 elims, all right? This is huge. He's going to try and go against Bray. Now, Bray does have more materials, 35-2, but now they're saying, you know, let's go toe-to-toe. Can Sazman line up the shot? He actually drops down below Monster. This engagement didn't even pan out. Oh.
Is he going to be able to get him? Is he going to be able to break these builds and bring him down to him? You saw Rona Season was just trying to stick it all the way through. And Rona Season is Sawsman, guys. For those of you guys just tuned in, so these final moments are here, are everything. He's looking to get these low ground peaks. He's got the Storm in his favor. He's still tracking with it. And he hits every shot, every single peak, every moment, every pixel goes to Rona.
And that's what I kind of talked about, dictating the tempo, right? It was Rona who was telling everyone else in the lobby, this is what we're doing now. Because you saw the player above, they had health advantage, they had shields. Sawsman didn't. He was down to what, like 50
it's not,
HP,
I
and then
think.
pops the slurp. And then that other player was so afraid to fire back because he was like, look, this guy's going to crack me in the face every single time. You can just tell by the way he's moving. He's confident. He sees that win.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, it's so funny that even with the high ground, sometimes you can just tell a good, like, low ground warrior will poise up in such a way that you're like, dude, if I, like, look over, like, he's going to shoot me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just know. So in those final moments, you kind of just knew, man, he was going to get shot. And, you know, hate to see it not be able to clutch up. But on to the next, guys, is O-R-N-Z-Y. Orenzy.
I think that's making me, like, sending me back into my previous
You
Fortnite
just
games
know,
where it's
right?
like I want to fight a guy and I'm like, this guy's crazy. Like, why would he do this?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get this guy, and then he just completely demolishes me. I'm like, he is crazy good at Fortnite. That's what was going on. Now look at this, Orenzy here.
Got two of them.
Great pickup. My goodness, 3 elims just like that. Now keep in mind he's outside of top 25. So he's got to be a little bit careful here of how he navigates. Again, on the right side of your screen there, you see Sawsman, again, the person who qualified from OCE. His name currently is Rona Season, aka Sawsman, just to make sure you know. But look at this loadout, dude.
It's looking good. One of the underrated things about the minigun is the extreme high fire rate. It might actually have the highest fire rate in the game when it's fully cooked, and because of that, it can really punch through builds, even if you're trying to stay on defense. So if you guys haven't given up the minigun a swirl, I should say, try and pressure someone down when they're in the box with it, and let me know if you pierce through the turbo build, if you get some shots. But don't forget, guys, we're tuning in straight with the OCE games here, which already kind of developed over the evening here at the Fortnite World Cup. Players have already punched their ticket to New York City. This is the last solo opportunity. Next week will be duos, but today it's all about the solo action. You can find yourself in the Big Apple.
Big Apple for a slice of pizza, like Golden Boy likes to say. I don't know why I like to keep perpetuating that, but here we are.
For a slice at 30M.
Yeah, there you go. You know, something really cool about Rona's loadout, look at this. He's actually maxed. We were able to see his mat count there for a little bit. He's completely maxed on everything. He actually has extra metal laying close by. Max rockets with the 12. Completely great AR. Look at this, 650 rounds of small ammunition, 130 slugs, 8 deploys, a single shadow bomb. Sure, you know, he probably wishes he had 6. But this is a loadout you want to make plays with. He's going to send shots over to the player, trying to get in. Lucas is going to get caught out, making a rotation, and that elim puts him in the top 25.
He is there, knocking on the door here, and this is how his journey unfolded to make it through to the Fortnite World Cup. Every opportunity that he has to take someone out, you can see he's singling out players and taking advantage of the positioning, but hopping around the map. These are some other players' journey as well, as we have Ariel here looking for the heavy snipe, finds a weak opportunity in the build. Whoever that is up above him is going to manage to connect the structure, but you know what? Ariel pops a nice little cone up. He's trying to go for it. He's really trying to get a piece of this high ground here. And now he disengages the pursuit, but is still tunneling on by.
That's good though. You know, if you don't have all the information, it's best to not try and go for the play, especially in finals. If this is, you know, semifinals, go for it, right? Like at worst, you're just set back a game, you could re-queue and everything's okay, but in finals, every single interaction does matter. So for Ariel, you know, he could have potentially challenged for that high ground, but it's like, I just kind of use my heavy snipe. I don't have that key to all doors. Let me just get myself to safety, take a moment, reload, gather more information. And because of just that slight pause, look, he's now in top 15. He found an elim, which he was hunting for before. He just finds it in another place. And now he's still just continuing. He picks up a rift to go as well. Heavy snipe gonna be picked up too. So now, I mean, he's Ariel's in a great spot right now.
Yeah, for sure. That nice little mat replenish there from catching the Elam is going to throw him back in the running here to try and see if he can squeak out a victory. Up at the high ground, we have other things unfolding. Kalen goes down to Samurai. Sosman still alive in the mid-tart, putting down pressure. Squall's in a campfire here. That's a signal to the rest of the lobby that, hey, there's someone weak nearby. Sosman hears the shadow bombs kind of thrown all around him. What's he going to do here? He's just on the hunt. OCE region specifically requires you to get a ton of eliminations if you want to be number one. There's only one spot up for grabs. And there it is, another player nearby. That's all shield ripped off. He's going to push that. Sees a player above him. He does see a player above him.
He's going to try and maybe make something happen. But look, don't forget, he still has every single rocket.
Nice rocket right there.
12 rockets. This payload is about to just destroy builds all the way around. And look, Ariel as well up on the high ground has them. So the first rocket from Ariel comes in, and then Sosman's second finds an elimination. Another rocket from Ariel up on the high ground. And look at this. Down below, they're just desperately trying to keep their builds up, and they're burning through mats. Sosman is now out. And look, he gets challenged from the front, challenged from the right, finds the two players, and he makes this a 1v1. But look at his HP right now. First rocket's going to come in. How is he going to pull this off, Monster?
I don't know if he can. He doesn't really have much going for him. Just 24 health.
He picked up 500 metal from 0 to 500. 50 builds. This is huge. If those get fully built off, they're going to absorb an entire rocket and still stay built. But
no way, dude.
This is a tough spot. Oh. That's a tall ask. That's a tall ask.
It really was. 200 HP on Ariel with the RPG as well. He was fully loaded, med kit, minis. He had everything he needed. That was a tough end game for Sosman. But hey, second place is not too shabby in this format. You get, you know, a ton of placements, but more importantly, those two eliminations to squeak out. We've seen the difference of 1 point was literally what all these games came down to. So that little flick of the moment, that little, you know, reaction to jump down there and go for it, that's the risk you take, and that's the payout you get.
Now we hop on over. There you go. This is, so don't forget, this is now, we're in Asia replays. You can see at the top right. So these happen again overnight while we were all asleep. I was asleep like a baby. That's not true. I woke up several times. I was mad about it. Moffin XD, though, was the victor coming out of that Asia region.
Yep, and you see there, Moffin finds someone hiding in the cone. Does capitalize on a nice little elimination. Sees the loot back there, but might be a little too far to go scavenge for, so he's just on the hunt still here. As things are poised up outside of the Dusty Divot. Really tough place to battle out of. You never want to find yourself in the center of it. Nice shot right there. As he catches someone who's running right by. These competitive players are so good with the accuracy. Oh, he's trying to play the loot hoarder here, trying to get all the mats and stuff that he did not battle for, and now he's got the storm against his back, and there's no way that man was going to get out of there, because with the 60-second threshold now, the storm can also just reward that Elam regardless to Moffin here. And whoa, he jumps into the zone for the desperate materials. Didn't even rift out. Ouch, it's going to cost him like 70 health there, Zeke.
That's a lot. Okay, so he did pick up 3 campfires. Sure, he can heal up, but that's such a tell, right? The moment you place a campfire, you're telling everyone around you, hey, I am low HP. I have to use this if I hope to survive. Now, keep in mind, he was at the edge of the storm. He had quite the rotation to make. Because he dipped into the storm, everyone else is already making their way into safety. He's going to have a relatively safe rotation, but, like, again, he's in critical condition. If he finds an Elam, it's going to be huge. That Siphon's going to just put him right back into fighting condition, but he's got to find that Elam.
Dude, talk about, like, insane rotation. First of all, he didn't get shot once coming from the further side of the Dusty Divot, and there was multiple players set up on bases. That is what we call that little bit of luck factor that sometimes you just need to kind of pull through here, because it doesn't happen like that very often. Someone gets rifted up there. Moffin lands a nice little 78. He's still in the game right now. Still in the game here.
He's going to reload that heavy snipe. So just look for an opportunity. I doubt he's going to try and go for close range snipes. He's probably going to use that to just punch into people's bunkers. He has his own rift to go. If things get a little hairy, I think he probably wants to use it because if you, this is great. Just punch you, there you go, and use the other player's rift.
Look at his health again.
Yeah, but look where we're going right now. We're going on the little lip there of Dusty Divot. That's such an incline that if you don't make it first, you can actually box other people out, and then they have to burn materials to get over the little hill there. So I like that play, just saying, you know what? This guy used the rift, and look at this. Prime real estate.
You just said it too, right? Like, you want to get on the lip there and see what you can do. Muffin comes in with some shots here. Looking for the replacement.
Wow.
Pulls off the cone, Zeke.
Wow.
Just like that.
And this is huge now, too, because not only does he get all the elims, the campfire's still going, so people are going to be like, oh, that player must be weak. Would we like to engage him? And Mothman sitting on 200 is like, please. No, yeah, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
come on in.
That'll be a big mistake for someone there. Let's look at this map here. This is the Asian region, guys. We're tuned in with Asia. Hopping into some of what occurred overnight here. Char Mew looking to get his little moment here in the show. Nice shot right there. Oh, man, Char gets hit with the Shadow Bomb. Don't forget, guys, that animation, while you're in Shadow Bomb as well, you're vulnerable. You are very vulnerable. You have to be careful of your surroundings. You can take damage. You're not invincible in the Shadow Bomb form.
Man, Charmy is just...
It is because it's not his gameplay.
That was a pretty rough rotation. It's probably going to cost him in the long run, because, I mean, he did go through quite a bit of mats, but... you know, Monster, I like to pose this question. I've already posed it to Pookie. I've posed it to Kitty. You know, you guys are members of the community. You know, you've taught so many of us different things. You know, you've got a podcast. In case you know who Monster D-Face is, go send him a follow. He's incredible. But you've been in situations like this, right? You've played in Summer Skirmish. You've played in, I think, Fall Skirmish as well, right?
Yep.
You know, we went to Korea together to watch the Korea Open. So you understand what these players are thinking. For maybe people that are kind of new to Fortnite, that maybe this might be their first time tuning in, you want to just break down some things for them?
Yeah,
like for instance, like rotations. Like what is Metsu thinking right now as he's barreling toward trying to keep himself safe, right?
Yeah, well, like, obviously, initial threats, right? You want to handle everyone here. Nice little trap play. So just even every single decision can be broken down. The way they use traps.
Now it's a World Cup. It's everyone's gameplay, so everyone can watch, see who wins.
Plans for escape, something small like that. Here, editing his way down, right? He does not have an escape plan. That elim right there is going to give him the launch pad, of course, to get the escape route off the high ground, but just recognizing height differences, the way competitive players play zone, they typically like to hug the zone. They never give too much, they don't take too much real estate in the end moments. They take their time and kind of hug the zone instead, flirt with that storm line. So many little different things that come into competitive play, and you can really just nitpick and break it all apart. It's so crazy in the highest levels.
Yeah, I just love talking about that stuff. I'm not great at articulating my thoughts with that kind of stuff. I understand what's happening. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to tell you a thing.
It happens so quickly, especially in Fortnite. But that's one of my favorite parts about it is just like the action, the APM, the actions per minute in Fortnite is unparalleled to any other BR I've ever experienced. And that's what really draws me to this game specifically. So we are looking at Moffin, who pulled through, man, took it right underneath the feet of people like Aim Hero that Zeke and I had. We had the pleasure of casting it at South Korea. He crushed it.
Yeah.
We saw Sinnoh
Remember
out
we met
there.
him. We met
we
Hero.
met all, dude. It's like
so
it was surreal, dude.
Yeah,
right?
dude. I remember that story so that what happened so vividly. We met him because we were like, you know, we're like in almost like a green room waiting to go. Yeah. And we saw players around us, and Aim Hero was like, he popped in the room, and we're like, oh, hey, like, hi.
Matter of fact, remember, there was like this divider, we were standing over it, and they were like, Zeke, I love you.
And I was like, wait, what? And they were like, yeah, you're Zeke, and you're Monster D-Face. We were like, wait, oh, first of all, congratulations, Moffin XD. You know, we know you're the victor, and that is exactly why 11 eliminations and the Victor Royale, 21-point game, massive lead for him. But yeah, I remember, and then they just called us out. They're like, yeah, you're Monster, and you're Zeke. And I was just like, what the heck?
That was definitely crazy to think outside the country.
Yeah, that was like, what was
we're out the country. This is Fortnite on a global scale here.
Man, how you know, it's so crazy. That was like at the beginning of the year, and now here we are, dude.
Yeah.
How time flies.
We have not made a full year casting Fortnite yet. This thing is just like exploded.
Oh goodness, the snipe coming out! Oh, wow, what a massive shot coming out of Moffin there. And look, check this out. 31 players left. He's already on 6 eliminations. This guy is crazy, and this is who is going to the World Cup finals. This is the level of play we will see in the finals.
Yeah, Moffin's going to have to bring it. When you put a player who's only experienced one region, let's just say, against the likes of the rest of the world,
yeah,
who knows what region is really going to come out on top. Keep in mind, too, though, guys, you know, EU and the American regions, the European and American region, will, of course, have a larger presence just off of the sheer numbers. So it is going to be interesting how the top 20 turns out, especially considering, you know, some presence a little less than others, but I mean, all these guys are equally skilled.
That's right.
In some capacity. They're all